Hello everyone. We're gonna do the next video in this series. So go ahead with the Funkos first. This is Anna Kendrick's character from Pitch Perfect. I think her name is Becca. I'm not sure. This is Alexa Bliss Funko, and that is a Riverdale one, Cheryl Blossom. And then we have Sabrina from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And then we have Rhaenyra from House of Dragon, and then Daenerys from Game of Thrones. So the angle's kind of weird. Hopefully it's fine. This is the Beatles' 8 days a week touring years. Pretty good Ron Howard documentary. I'm a huge Beatles fan, as you can see. So I have a lot of their stuff in the collection. And then I have the Hard Day's Night Criterion. Great film. Love the album. Love all their music. I think they did some amazing films as well. This is the Rocky Heavyweight Collection. Classic films. I like all of them pretty much. Even 5, even though it was like a different take. I like that one still. And then we have the Exorcist Extended Director's Cut, original theatrical version. Very good film. I want Exorcist 3 as well on 4K. And I think I might have pre-ordered it. I'm not sure. But this is a great film. And then we have some Halloween stuff. So we have Complete Collection. This has all the films with the 2 Rob Zombie films as well. Great. Obviously the first one's great. 2 is pretty good. Season of the Witch is good. And then the sequels are just kind of, lackluster. The Rob Zombie films are the Rob Zombie first film is good. I didn't like the second one. And then we have, this is the regular one, John Carpenter's, this is an anniversary edition of it. And then we have Halloween Kills only for some reason. I do have Halloween. I have the new ones. I have Halloween and Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is a newer title, so it'll come later. And then the 2018 Halloween has to be here somewhere. It's gonna come up. I have all of them though. There's Ghost in the Shell. This is the 4K of the original animated film. Great film. Nice high concept on that one. The Harry Potter series, the full series. Love the films. Read all the books. Let me see if maybe okay. So yeah, that's a good series. I like it. I don't like the Fantastic Beasts ones really, so I'm not gonna be getting those. This was a blind buy for me. Legend, really good. Pretty decent Ridley Scott film. I think the Devil Tim Curry in this looked really amazing. Yeah, definitely not a bad Arrow blind buy. Whenever I have a blind buy, I'll mention it just because I don't do it very often, unless I'm certain that it's something I like. The Twilight Zone series, love this. Got this series and then like watched the entire way through. I like the Jordan Peele one as well, but this is just like quintessential Twilight Zone. If you're a fan of it, you gotta have it for sure. All right, so these top ones, there's less this time, so it should be easier. This is the How the Grinch Stole Christmas Ultimate Edition. It comes with some other shorts as well. Not bad. The Grinch short is obviously the reason to get it. And then we got the Jim Carrey How the Grinch Stole Christmas live action. Pretty good. How to Be Single. One of my favorite actually rom-coms that's kind of underrated and nobody ever talks about. I think this did a really good job. Very rewatchable. I really like Dakota Johnson in this film as well. And then we've got How to Steal a Million from Twilight Time. Big fan of Audrey Hepburn, so I have like almost all of her films on Blu-ray that are available. I love that film. Another one I really liked is How to Talk to Girls at Parties. I'm a huge fan of Elle Fanning as well. In the beginning, I didn't really like this. I thought it was kind of weird, but it's one that I thought about a little bit more, and then I really enjoy it now. And I really like the slipcover for this. One of the better slipcovers in my collection. I think this is the first Studio Ghibli film that I have in my collection. I have almost everything though. I don't know where they all are. I got them more recently, so they're probably just like lying around. But Howl's Moving Castle, wonderful film. I love this film. I think it's a great film. A lot of these are just fantastic. I'm a huge fan of them. And then Martin Scorsese's Hugo. Yeah, you gotta have it if you're a Scorsese fan, especially. All right, so let's go with this row. Sorry for the lighting here. It might be a little darker. The Human Centipede. This is the first sequence. I don't need the full one because I don't like the other 2. This one's just kind of got it pretty cheap. Yeah, kind of like a effed up film. Then we got the Hunger Games series. Try to do this all together. Mockingjay Part 2, 1, Catching Fire, and Hunger Games. The first one is okay. I thought it was pretty good compared to the book as well. And then Catching Fire is definitely the best one. Mockingjay Part 1 is alright, and then Part 2 is also okay. They didn't need to split those two into... They definitely didn't need to make those two into two different films. Like, it was just running out of things. Hush, a pretty good Gwyneth Paltrow film. I'm gonna say it, I think she's hot. I think she was sexy. Still is, sort of. So I have a lot of her films. This one is pretty... It's okay. And then we have The Hustler. Sorry, not The Hustler. Hustlers. Pretty good film. Everybody was talking about J-Lo's performance in this one. Nice slipcover as well. Gotta get it when there's a nice slipcover. So we have now more films here. I Spit on Your Grave double pack. This is the original one and the remake. So, it's like a revenge type film. Not for everybody, but pretty good, I think. And then we have I, Tonya, one of the best Margot Robbie films. This one sold me on Margot Robbie as an actress. I think she's fantastic in this. I don't know who won the Oscar that year, but it could have easily been her. Then we have another film I think didn't get a lot of Oscar love is If Beale Street Could Talk. This is a really good... what's the Moonlight director? Barry Jenkins. This is my favorite film from Barry Jenkins. I think this was like an artful film. It's like poetry on screen. It's hard for me to describe, but I think the soundtrack and the visuals of this just work so beautifully. And it's really a really good film and experience. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. I'm bad with actor and actresses' names sometimes. I don't really know who stars in it. Stephen James and Kiki Lane. I think they're fantastic in it. And Regina King. I think Regina King might have won for this. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But this deserved a lot of love. I like it better than Moonlight as well. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus is another Terry Gilliam film. Heath Ledger died midway while filming this, so they had to get other actors and like transform the actor. I think they did a fine job with it. It's sad that Heath Ledger died. I think he was a top actor in time. Film where it's a good concept, good high concept, not delivered as well as it should be, but still enough to be entertaining and worth owning when you can get it for cheap. Anyways, Inception. Not much to say about this. This is a great Christopher Nolan film. Leonardo DiCaprio. He's usually good with it. The Incredible Hulk, lenticular. I think for most of my MCUs, I have the Steelbook. This is one of the few that I don't. This is a pretty good film. It ends up being one of the lower end Marvel films just by default, but that doesn't mean it's a bad film. This is a Netflix film of I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This is a bootleg, so it's not available. This is why I hate streaming services. Like you wanna own it, but it's hard to do so. I think for my next video, I'll bring like a light and just like plug it in, because it to me it seems a little dark here, and I don't know if I can't turn on the flashlight on my thing, unfortunately. I'm really sorry about the quality of all this. I'm so bad at this. But anyways, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. This is a bootleg title with Jessie, what's her name? Jessie Buckley. I think this is an amazing film. I was so perplexed by it. It's also written by Charlie Kaufman. I think it's directed by him as well. I was just like so enamored by every little thing that goes on screen. It like means something, and it's just like a wild film. And the book was also amazing, like an amazing read, wild read. So many questions, but I thought this was an amazing film, and I think she's such a great actress. I'm a huge fan of her. So whenever something comes out with Jessie Buckley, I'm there. I Am Legend. Really good concept in this one. Pretty good Will Smith performance. The only issue I have is just like the CGI is outdated. Like it did not age well at all. But you know, for its time, I guess. I mean, for its time, it probably could have had better effects. But it's not that old of a film. But it's still a good film. Really good kind of like teen comedy type film. I Love You, Beth Cooper. I like Hayden Panettiere. That's why I watched Nashville. I Love You, Man. One of the best comedies in this collection is I Love You, Man. Paul Rudd, Jason Segel play off each other so well. This is so funny. Head to toe, so funny and quotable. Another good comedy that I like, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. It handles LGBT pretty well for what it's worth. Maybe not. Maybe people will disagree, but I thought it handled it pretty well, especially with the plot that's happening in it. Pretty good film. I'm not a huge fan of Adam Sandler, so when something is a good film by him, and I own it, I'll admit it that that's a good Adam Sandler film. Really good magic film that honestly, it's weird that this and The Prestige came out together, like around the same time. But this is a good film as well. Both are pretty good. The only thing I hate about this is, for some reason, I think this is like a slightly like French or Canadian release. The sound is so bad on this, and it doesn't have subtitles. So this is like such an annoying thing to watch, unfortunately, because that's a good film. I know what we did last summer, and I still know what we did last summer. I love these films. I know there's a 4K that came out, but for some reason I just felt like I didn't need it. I'll only get a 4K if I feel like the real need to get it. These two films are great from the childhood. I love Sarah Michelle Gellar. I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. They did a third one in like 2006. If they release it on Blu-ray, I'll get it. I like it. And then they did a series that got canceled on Prime. I thought the series was okay. Obviously not as good as the films, but it's fine for what it is. And now a film that I know a lot of people do not like, but I will say that I love with all my heart. I will give it a 10 out of 10. I love The Great Gatsby. I love the book. I read the book after the film, but I love this film. I think this is Baz Luhrmann's best film. Magical film to me. I just love it. I can't say enough how much I love this film. I just think everything works in this, even like the music from different times and all that. The visuals, it's just so grand, so amazing. I love that film. The soundtrack is amazing too. It's got Lana Del Rey doing some of it. The Graduate, a classic. One of the best Dustin Hoffman films. Nice soundtrack on there as well, Simon and Garfunkel. The Grand Budapest Hotel, a really good Wes Anderson film. I don't have the Criterion. I didn't think I needed it, but this is a good film. Nice ensemble cast. He's a great filmmaker, one of a kind. No one can really do things like he does. Gran Torino, a really good Clint Eastwood film. At the time, I thought this got snubbed a little bit for like Best Picture. I thought it was a really good picture. I forgot what won that year. One of my other favorite films, I will give this a 10 out of 10 as well, even though I know a lot of people will not agree. I think this is a visual feat in theaters. I thought it was amazing. The opening take of this film was just fantastic. Alfonso Cuarón's best film. A lot of emotional elements in this, and one of the finest soundtracks I've ever heard. Wonderful Sandra Bullock performance. I just get goosebumps thinking about this film. I love this film like to death. We got two personal 10 out of 10s in one row. The Green Inferno, not a 10 out of 10, but a pretty good Eli Roth film. Pretty violent. It steps up the carnage in that one. And then the Grease Collection. So this is Grease, Grease 2, and Grease Live. I like the original Grease quite a bit. 2, not so much. Even though I really love Michelle Pfeiffer. And 3, I mean the live one, it wasn't really my thing. And then I got this one first, and I just never got rid of it. This is like the yearbook version of Grease. So I didn't even realize I have 2 copies of that now. Green Book. A lot of people have issues with this. I thought it was just a fine Farrelly film. It did win Best Picture. I thought it was a fine film. Not a fine film, but it was a Dollar Tree dollar buy for sure. Green Lantern. I don't know why I have it, but the steelbook collector in me has it. It is not a good film by any means. The Green Mile, fantastic film, very emotional, very rewatchable as well, even for its long length. A nice Stephen King adaptation. Michael Clark Duncan is, I think that's his name, I hope so, but he's fantastic in that one. The Goonies, Gremlins, Gremlins 2. Got this mostly for Gremlins and Gremlins 2. I'm not a huge fan of the Goonies, unfortunately, but I like Gremlins. Nice little underrated Halloween time watch. Greta, fantastic film. Great Isabelle Huppert performance. Very crazy film, this one, like a stalker type film, and it has Micah Monroe in it, who I really love. I think she's so attractive. Another film that I'm very high on is The Grey. I think this is Liam Neeson's one of his very best films. If you don't count like Schindler's List, because that just feels like a different type of era of film. But this is a really good film with a lot of emotional weight in it. It's about a crew that get attacked by wolves, and then they got to fight back. I think this has a lot of emotionality in it. Good score. This film works very well. And now I'm going to introduce another personal 10 out of 10. Grindhouse double feature. This is Planet Terror and Death Proof. So I have this very beautiful slip. Look at this slip. Oh my god, I love this film. I love both of these films. I know a lot of people don't like Death Proof that much, but I think Planet Terror and Death Proof together is a 10 out of 10. It is fantastic. Saw that in the theaters. and thought it was just fabulous. One of the best theatrical experiences I've ever had. And then I had to double dip because they came out with the Steelbook, the 2-film collection. So one of these releases have the trailers, like the entire format, the way it's supposed to be watched, with those fake trailers in between, like those horror trailers. And I think it's actually this second one. That's the main reason I keep both of them. But I don't mind double dipping those. Those are just fantastic. I love them. I wish it did better in the box office so we could see something similar again. Groundhog Day, classic Bill Murray film. I read about this, and then I think it was directed by Harold Ramis, and then he had problems with Bill Murray on set on this one. So it's kind of interesting. I think it's that one. That's interesting to read up on. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2. Volume 2 is one of the rare ones I don't have it on Steelbook format, but pretty good films. I'm not overly crazy about some MCU films. Those aren't my favorite ones, but it's fine. The Guest, really good film with Dan Stevens and Micah Monroe. As I mentioned, I love her. Sorry, I'm dying here. Yeah, pretty good atmosphere with those. Kind of weird near the end, like when they explain what really happens in that one. Did Groundhog Day already. This is the Guys Being Guys Party Triple Pack. And this happened to be all blind buys when I bought it. Bachelor Party I thought was pretty good. Revenge of the Nerds was pretty good. They're all three pretty good. Light-hearted type films. So I watched this one on the Turner Classic Movies channel, TCM. To get ready for like one of the Oscar seasons, and I thought it was fantastic. Natalie Wood is just amazing in this. This is kind of like a musical, and a really good film. I have a few Natalie Wood films after becoming a fan of her. It's tragic what happened to her. Halloween, great film right here. Halloween. This is the 2018 version. This is the one I was looking for actually. Yeah, I think this is a great Danny McBride I think wrote it. This is a good reintroduction to the series. People had problem with Kills. I thought Kills was okay. I thought this was good and Kills was okay. I did not like Halloween Ends though, and I'll talk about it more when we get to it, just because it makes more sense that way. But I'll tell you why I don't like that one later. Hang 'em High, nice little Shout Select. I got this with the sale. A lot of these Shout Factory stuff I only get it when it's on sale because they're just expensive. They're expensive titles. Hannah. Oh, so I got this because the movie is pretty good. I like the movie. It's Saoirse Ronan. It's a good film. But I really, really, really like the series, the Amazon Prime series. All 3 seasons. If they were to release it on Blu-ray, I'd 100% get it because I really like those films. That series. And the film is good too. Hannibal Lecter Collection. This has Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal. I think I have Silence of the Lambs separate anyways. But I needed to get Hannibal and Manhunter. I like Hannibal. Manhunter is just amazing though. I think it's Michael Mann. That's a really good film. And then we have the Hangover Part 1 and 2. Hangover 1 is pretty fun. Part 2 is fun too, but it kind of retreads the ground of the first one. 3 I don't like at all, and I don't need to own it. The Happening, pretty guilty pleasure type M. Night Shyamalan film. It's not a very good film at all, that's for sure. But it is kind of a guilty pleasure. I'm a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. I think he's still doing good work, even though a lot of people will not agree on that. Happy Death Day, pretty good. Groundhog Day type. I think this is a Blumhouse film. Jessica Roth is good in this one. I didn't like the second one so much. Hardcore Henry, really good film. One of the standouts in my collection, just because it's like a first-person shooter video game, and I think they did a really remarkable job with it. That doesn't get a lot of praise, and it's fun. Like, it is a fun film. Rewatchable, that one. One that might not be as rewatchable as The Hateful Eight. This is a Quentin Tarantino title. Good film, just a very long, so I've not rewatched it, but it's got a great stellar cast. If you can see it, that's a good one. And now we've got the Haunted Collection. So this has the Haunted Anthology. So this is like a Canadian release, which is kind of weird. It has Insidious, which I like. Pretty good film. Blair Witch Project, which is a really good. It's weird that they did not spell it right. This is like an authentic Blu-ray. they spelled it wrong. Maybe that's like a French way of spelling it. I don't know. But Blair Witch Project, one of my favorite found footage films of all time. I love the Blair Witch Project. The Last Exorcism, another great found footage film, which I thought was excellent. The sequel, not so much. The Others, another excellent film with Nicole Kidman, and she's fantastic in that one. And 1408, another one of my favorite films of all time. Great Stephen King adaptation. Love that film. So generally, I love these films. Insidious, I wouldn't say I love, but it's a very good film still. But that just being that this has so many great horror films or like kind of thrilling films makes this like a worthy box set, and then that's why I have that. It's like everything in one. You can't beat it. You can't beat a set when it's good like that. And then we have Heat, fantastic Michael Mann film, probably one of his best ones. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro together. You can't beat that, even if it's only like for like 5 minutes. Nice Heather Steelbook, pretty good film. Hell or High Water, well written. What's his name? Ty Sheridan film. I think, is he the guy who does the Yellowstone? I don't know. It seems like it, but that's a good film. Good performances, really good. Hellfest is a really good kind of like Funhouse slasher in an amusement park setting. Just being that it's set in an amusement park like that makes it so much fun. And now the Beatlemaniac in me comes out with Help. Wonderful album, great film. You can't beat the Beatles on film. They were just something else. Something is sticky here, so it's not coming out the way I want it to. So I'll just do it both together. So we have Hereditary, really great Ari Aster debut. Toni Collette's fantastic in this. This is very rewatchable as well. I know this one freaks people out a lot, and people genuinely find it scary. I liked it. I like it a lot, that one. And then I have Her, wonderful Spike Jonze film. Spike Jonze is also a filmmaker that I'm very, very high on. Really good screenplay in this one. I think this just works miles. This is amazing film. I've only seen it once, which is weird, but it's also one of my earliest Blu-rays when I started collecting. And then we got a Claire Denis film, High Life, a great film, also high concept, very great performances, and it has Mia Goth as well and Robert Pattinson. I'd like to think one of these films got Robert Pattinson the Batman role, because he was on a roll like with this and then Good Time. He was doing some really good stuff, good work. Yeah, he had a reputation with Twilight and stuff. Both of them did, and then they just came out and did such great work. High Rise, this is an amazing film. Really good film that like a lot of people don't talk about. And if there's, like if you take away anything from these videos and there's titles that you haven't seen, this is definitely worth a watch. It is absolutely insane. The only thing I hate about this is I got this used, and I didn't know it was gonna come in like this weird library release. I don't know how, but it works fine. That's the main point, I guess. The Hills Have Eyes. This is one of those stupid J-card releases. I think this is the remake from 2004 or 3. Good film. I like it more than Wes Craven's original. I do have the original though. It's one of those later titles that's coming up. His Girl Friday, fantastic Howard Hawks film. Pay attention to the writing in this. I think it's fantastic. It's a good comedy. It looks like a double pack right here of Hitch and The Holiday. Yes, so I like both of these films. I like The Holiday a lot. I'm a big fan of Cameron Diaz, and one of the better Will Smith films is Hitch. I like that one as well. So that's a good double pack to have. In the beginning, I wasn't a huge fan of the Hobbit films, and then I gave them kind of a rewatch, and I liked it a little more. Not a Lord of the Rings level, but good enough. Hobbit, Unexpected Journey, pretty good film. Desolation of Smaug, I think unanimously is the best one. I think most people will agree on that. And Battle of the Five Armies, some reason I got this one in the Steelbook used. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. That's a nice Steelbook. Not a bad film as well. They're not bad films by any means. The series is pretty good too. The Lord of the Rings series, I like it. Hocus Pocus on regular Blu-ray. I don't think this is a 4K, but look at the book. That's fantastic. The sequel was horrible. I'm sorry. Like, I really wanted to like it. I just couldn't get into it. Holiday Inn, nice little classic holiday film. And then we have A Hologram for the King. I talked about this earlier. The book of this is just fantastic. I love it, and I think the film did a great job with this. A lot of people don't talk about this one. This is kind of an underrated film. Hollywoodland, like a kind of a. It's based on a true story, but I don't know how much of it is real. But it's talking about the death of the original Superman, George Reeves. Good film. Yeah, I'm glad they brought that one on Blu-ray. I like when they release these films that I've seen in the past, years later. Home Alone 2 movie collection, classic Christmas films. I try to watch it, if not every year, every other year. This is a great film. Both of them are really good. And then I got a bootleg of Home Alone 3, which I really like. I think it gets disrespected a lot, but I think this is a good film. Anything afterwards, though, not really. So this is one I don't think a lot of people know about. Honeymoon with Rose Leslie from Game of Thrones, and Harry Treadaway from Penny Dreadful. Really good horror film. It's a slow burn, but I think it's got some stuff in there that's fun. Hostel Part 2. A lot of torture, kind of like torture porn, horror porn in this, but Hostel 1 is fun. I like that one. 2's alright as well. This is, I guess, the sexy collection right here. Hotspot and Killing Me Softly. I like this one because of Jennifer Connelly, and Killing Me Softly is pretty good too. Heather Graham is gorgeous as well. House at the End of the Street. I'm not a huge fan of this, but I do like Jennifer Lawrence. I guess there's some things to enjoy in that one. And then we've got one that is a 10 out of 10 for me. Literally, I have rated this a 10 out of 10. House of the Devil. This is Ty West. Ty West has done X, Pearl, and he's doing Maxine. This is one of his earlier films, and it is a superb horror film. Slow burn, but absolutely amazing. It also has Greta Gerwig in it, and Jocelyn Donahue is the main actress. I can't praise this enough. I think this is one of the greatest films of all time. I watch it every single October. So I'm a huge fan of Ty West's earlier stuff. Not that I'm not a fan of X and Pearl. I love those films as well, but that's probably his best film. Triple pack of House of Wax, Return to the House on the Hill, and Ghost Ship. I like Ghost Ship and House of Wax. That's why I got them. This is the Paris Hilton House of Wax. And then Return to House on the Haunted Hill was just like whatever. But you can't beat a triple pack. So that's that video, and then we'll just continue carrying on.